Class, moving on with our Colmar Zoo video series, we are first going to take a look at our master. And I'm going to go to Page and Page Properties. Now, I'm going to take the word home off of here because we have a page already called Home. I just want after the Home tab or after the North American tab or after any of my other tabs for it to say Colmar Zoo after the page title. Then if we take a look at the layout, you'll notice that for this first one, I have made 6 columns. And you may wonder why I've made 6, and I'll show you in just a second here. I decided to call this Main Master, by the way. And the reason that I decided to go with the 6 columns is this. When we go up to the home page, you'll notice that my main image on the left takes up 3 columns. And then on the right, I use 3 columns for each of the sets of programs. 1 column here, 1 column here, 1 column here. So that's why I chose to use 6 columns. Otherwise, I would have had to eyeball these. If I made this into 1 column and this into 1 whole column, I would have had to get these by taking a look at them and determining which was the best placement for it. So now that I've done that, I'm going to go back to the master page and let's look at the plan for a moment. Let me get rid of this lists master for a moment. Okay, you'll notice that immediately changed something that I had linked to that list master before. So I'm going to make another page, and one of the things that I want to do is make it this page exactly like this page, but my only difference between the 2 masters is going to be that I will make 3 columns on this one. This one has 6, this one's going to have 3. Now, an easier way to do that would be to just duplicate this rather than copy everything from here onto here. So I'll get rid of it. I'll right-click. I will duplicate the page. Right now it says Main Master Copy. I'm going to call it my Lists Master. And the reason I'm calling it is I'm going to have lists of different animals for the different continents on this particular master. So I'm going to double click on this. Right now it has the original 6 columns, as you can see. So if we go back to Plan and right click on it, go to Page Properties, we can then look at the layout and change this to what I want now, which is 3 columns. Everything else can stay the same. On the metadata, it's still going to have Colmar Zoo after the page title suffix. Now, if I take another look at this, I don't really like, let me preview this for a minute. This color background is kind of a yellowish color with the blue. It worked well with my original Culinary Zoo site where I had a lot of yellows and golds and things in it when I had the lion masthead. So what I'm going to do is go back, Plan, Main Master. I'm going to click on my layer, Content Layer, and let's go up here to Fill. And let's change this to some type of a gradient with as light of blue as we can get. Blue to a little bit darker blue. Just a very subtle gradient there. Now I see the one mistake I made is I selected the content layer, but I forgot to select it on here. So let's try that one more time. Fill, gradient. You don't have to have a gradient there. And then a little bit darker blue. That's not bad. All right. Now that I've done it on this one thing that I do want to do is go back to Plan. And let me just duplicate it again. I think it'll be easier. I'll get rid of this one. This one again is going to be called the Lists Master. And I'm going to go into the metadata, page properties. And I'm going to change the layout to 3 columns. All right. Now that I've done that, you'll notice already that since I had linked Main Master to this page, it already made the changes and to this page, these 3 pages that I made down here. All I need to do now is copy my List Master onto these. Now you can see when we look here, I chose just 3 columns because I was doing 3 columns of animals from my zoo and paragraphs. So next, let's talk about what my metadata is going to be for these. Let's go to the home page. Wrong home. There we go. On the home page. And of course, I could do page and page properties here. I just think it's easier just to go to Plan, right-click, Page Properties, go to Metadata, And the description of this is going to be the Kolner Zoo is made up of animals from 6 different continents. Keywords. Let's see, I have North American. I had red wolf, porcupine, bison, and let's look what else I have. I'll say okay on that. Black bear, mountain goat, and walrus. I managed to forget the one that I was, one of the other ones. Let's take a look again. Okay. Mountain goat. Now, as I think about it, these keywords actually would be better off if I would copy them to this. So, plan, right-click, page properties. All right. The North American continent page includes animals that are indigenous. Not sure about the spelling of that. To North America. I'm not going to worry about HTML for head. Let's come back over here, right-click, page properties, and let's take one more look at this very quickly. We have different programs, educational programs, and experiences for all ages. And that's talking about being a conservation organization. So if we go back to plan, page properties, we'll change this. A conservation organization that provides programs and education to all ages. The keywords for this then will be some of the keywords that we will find in here. Adult, we'll put experiences in there. Adult, youth, birthday parties, summer camp, family, nature club, youth birthday parties. Those are the first 3 I'll put in. And the next three: summer camp, family, and nature clubs. All right. And okay. So in this video, I showed you how, if you need to go back in and change your master's content fill color. I showed you how to duplicate it to make another master, yet when we went into it, we simply had to change the page properties and the layout to 3 columns, since the first one had 6 columns. Then we discussed how to go in and add the metadata under right-click, page properties for the home page, and how to right-click and change the page properties for the North American page.